Hello, hello, hello. It's Auntie. You see how fine I'm looking here? Yeah. These some London clothes, right? You can see it's something to be keeping me warm. Yeah, the material is not heavy though. Excuse my manners. I came on. I didn't look to say good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. I just launched straight into how sweet I'm looking because I'm looking sweet and I'm feeling sweet too. Yeah. I went to a workshop there today. 2-day workshop. It wasn't bad. It wasn't bad. It wasn't bad. Started off a bit slow, a bit dry, but I was glad to see some familiar faces and it did improve. So although I had the usual set of sleepiness after lunch, I managed to rally through. So I'm here heading home now. Oh boy, oh boy. So from yesterday, I had in mind to share some things. I said I would either go live with it, or maybe I didn't plan to do a video, or I wasn't sure if I would just post about it or what I would do. But as I'm here stuck in traffic now, a video it is. And this was just about some different interactions you ever have a day. It goes in either direction. Sometimes you have a day where everything's going negatively. I had a morning yesterday filled with a lot of positive interactions, right? It started, I left home. I was heading to the car parts place, so to speak, to get what I needed to get my car serviced over the weekend. And on my way there, in the area where I would usually normally take, I have different options for my commute. The road I really should be taking has been under construction now for over 2 years. I think I can confidently say that. So I've shared this already. However, I divert. It's a rather rocky road, right? The bumpier out of the options is the shorter. So the shortest. So I was coming down that way. And then using that route, there's a church that I normally would pass. A small church that if you're not familiar with it, you probably don't even remember it's up in there, tucked up in there where it's located. And I've come to realize that whenever the children are on vacation, sometimes it even seems if it's just a short midterm break, being the children probably get Thursday and Friday off to make a long weekend, they always have the children engaged, whether it's a little camp going on. As I said, it might be just a short thing for a couple days, and the children look always very happy to be there, very well engaged, very well taken care of, Yeah. So I want to salute you on that. It's called Evangel Tabernacle. And in recognizing that, I said to myself, there are a lot of people out there doing a lot of positive, impactful things. And I think I want to spend more time encouraging those people, whether it be affirming them by words, whether it be donating to them in some way, be it financially, materially, or even giving of my time. I think I'm going to try to spend more time doing that and less time, well, I would say complaining or criticizing, but I really don't spend much time doing that either because I find you don't tend to get a lot of results. So yeah, that's what it's looking like for me. More and more now. When I encounter persons, whether it be an actual place, an organization like a church, a community group, some charity, whatever it is, or an individual, someone, and a lot of people do things and they don't broadcast it, they don't do it for the glory or whatever, and they're not well known. Whenever I encounter these things, I am going to make a point to make sure that I give in some meaningful way. Already I've had it on my heart for years now to donate to the schools that my children attend. me say at my schools, obviously I'm talking about the children that I teach. I'm still going to do that. I'm going to do it either in terms of special interests that my children have. For example, I have Shazaya. She's involved in drama group at school. She does track and field. Mary is into scouts, different things like that. When I had Cordia, who was my very first student, she had loved the art. I don't know if it would be art club or just art class at school. So a lot of different areas where teachers and persons involved are doing some wonderful work, although sometimes very stretched and challenged in terms of resources. I am going to look to see how I can contribute to those things. So yes, I am. So that's positive interaction. It wasn't even an interaction. It was just me passing by and taking note, right? Nevertheless, that's number 1. Okay? All right. Number 2 now. I actually made it to the parts store. That being, well, we call it HK Motors now, I believe. I still say Simpson Motors. To get the stuff for Betsy Boo. Betsy Boo looking too pretty nowadays. Too pretty since she had her paint job. And I made the point to give her a good wash off and cleaning at least every week. I've been consistent with it so far. Yeah, she had one yesterday evening. Tuesday is your day, Betsy Boo. Boop, boop. Yeah, so then in interacting with the gentleman who will put in my information and get the stuff sorted out, I don't know if he would be sales associate or what would be his title. Yeah, in interacting with him, I said, I don't fully remember all the things you need to get for the service. I remember this, I remember that. But obviously, if you put in my information, you should see. And also, there's a particular thing that a couple times I come now, and I end up getting the wrong part. So I know the last time my mechanic gave me the part number, and he said, make sure they put it in the system so it doesn't happen again. And he checked, you know it is with the computer and the speed that the system runs at sometimes. But he checked and he checked. And then he said to me, if the vehicle is outside, what he would do is actually come and look to ensure that he's getting the correct thing. And he took his time. And then he even went on and he said, just bear with me, be patient. I'm trying to see what's the best way to maneuver here in this traffic, Because when you think you could make a shortcut, it looks like it's sticking up, but the road is probably rather narrow or there's traffic ahead there. So in times like that, I think I'm just going to keep straight. Do you want to come out? Come out. Oh, what happens? There's a vehicle parked, so there's still, you defeat the purpose. You think you're ducking through this. See, isn't that like life? You think you're ducking through to take a shortcut, and when you go now, there's an obstacle before you. So you got to wait your turn and wait till the good Lord has the right timing for you. He's never late. Be patient and wait. I'm speaking to myself. That would be the ambulance passing. I pray everything will be all right with the situation. Yeah. Yes, his name. I wrote down these different names, Did I take it out? I still have it. I think he told me his name is Shane. And I also like him because I saw he had his little thermal cup. I say like it's coffee time. I got things written. No, his name is Nathan. He said it's not coffee, it's tea. I said, what kind of tea do you like? This is the normal tea or this herbal tea? So he likes ginger tea. So you won my heart with that one, because Auntie is busty kind of herbal kind of girl. So anything like that, look how easily I come out now. Look how easily I come out when I'm ready for me to come out. Ram. Yeah, he said he likes his ginger tea. And he was so pleasant and so efficient. Of course, when we concluded, he told me, have a good day, and I asked him his name. So, Nathan, I want to thank you for being so meticulous and so patient there with me yesterday. I pray that you will continue to do great works and continue to be patient and thorough in all that you do. You know, every interaction is not always the same. Sometimes you can have things that frustrate you. It might be the computer, sometimes it might be the customer. Sometimes it might just be the fact you're not able to help in the way you would like. And I'm saying perhaps, you know, like someone's looking for a part or looking for something and you can't provide it, or something's gone wrong beyond your control. I just encourage you. This is what happens. I didn't know that I have fall down. You know that I still keep in this video. I gotta keep my eye on the road. Alright, I got something there proper. I wonder how long that had dropped down and I hear talking so merrily. It's still going. It's good to be able to laugh at yourself. As I was saying, Nathan, continue to be positive and keep up the good work. Now, while I was there with Nathan, a young father came in with his two children. One I would put as a toddler, a little boy, who he's walking and everything, but he's not speaking clearly. He's very much at that kind of babbling and that very noisy babbling and kind of stage, you know. Had the whole place lighted. I was loving it. So the father had him in arms, and then the little girl, she can't be too much older than him, but something went wrong and my girl started putting on some crying, you know, a little crying fit. To her merit though, and daddy's merit, she wasn't like all over the place and getting on. She was sitting in one particular space and she was just crying till it was a whole messy kind of snotty kind of cry. She did well, yeah. And I kept looking back at her from time to time, just making sure she was alright. And daddy was going about. He was at the counter dealing with another salesperson or customer, right? As I say, whatever you call it. And he was very calm. He didn't look perturbed at all, you know. And she went through her emotions. She cried and so on. There was a gentleman that came and stood behind Nathan, and he was looking on and smiling. I felt good to see he was smiling. In other words, he wasn't, like, you know, irritated by it all. And so we were understanding. Suppose if she's 2 years old, she was being a 2-year-old. You understand? So he was showing her grace, as was I, and it seemed everyone else in the place. So when I got through with Nathan, and I went then and I made my payment and I collected the parts and so on, I made a point and I went over to the daddy because I am in his scenes. As I told you, I identified straight up how it was unfolding, that it was going to be one of these mornings, one of these situations where you have one positive interaction after the other. And it's not going to be just like so. I'm going to be having meaningful interactions. I'm going to be saying things to persons. When they deal with me positively, I'm going to show them appreciation and I'm going to be pouring into them as they pour into me, just by virtue of sometimes not even knowing that I'm aware that, you know, not even knowing that, being aware that they are affecting me in a positive way, as was the case with that father. So I told him, you're doing a very good job with your children. I was watching you and how calm and how patient you remained with your daughter. And he gave me the look. You know, I was trying to find the word to describe the look, but it looked like exasperation, but yet still not exasperation, because it's like, these are my children and I love them and I'm here for me, there for them. And they could be a handful and drive me bananas, yes, but I can be there for them straight up. And The children were very engaging because, of course, he's there sitting with them now, and my girl, she has stopped crying, and you would never know she had been crying, and she came and she was engaging with me, and I gave her a little love up, and the little boy wanted his part too, and I gave him a little love up and attention. And I love up the daddy because I would leave it for whoever's to love up daddy to love up daddy. That wasn't for me. But his name now is Jerome. Okay, Jerome, I say your name. Young father, as I said, calm, patient, level-headed from all I observed, and you really touched my heart to see how you dealt with a situation that could have been frustrating, but yeah, you just did what you had to do. And eventually saw he had his phone and he was going on like some children's thing there on the phone, and the children were all over him, loving him up, because that's daddy, yeah. That moment with the tears and so on had passed, and it was all about daddy. And I absolutely loved him. From there, I went to my garden place because I want to get another grow bag set up. Or maybe two. I want to plant okras. I might get the okras in an existing bag. But I'm looking at okras and I'm looking at beets. Great. So obviously they don't have seedlings because remember we had that long Easter weekend. So they now have to get a fresh start with the seedlings coming in. So the lady told me there were beets there the last week, so I'm hoping later this week. I guess that might be Friday. But I don't even know now when that would be, to be honest with you. I don't know when that would be. I'm saying that in terms of the whole what I have on my cards this week, and also the rest of the family in terms of the car. It will work out, but sometime soon I will get the beets. Yeah, so I bought the soil. I have the bags. I needed to get some more soil mix. And this young man now, who I guess he works as porter and assisting in there and so on, he came and sat down there behind the glass panel. Very friendly and so on with himself. Tall, not fat, but stocky, not big. In Barbados we say big bones. I don't know if that's a Bajan thing or I don't know, it's not big. And he's looking at me, I'm looking at him. He said, I know this face. I said, but I'm saying I know yours too. I said, I think we used to go to church together. And it is true, because where we used to go to church before, where I attend now, we used to sit down and his parents, he was fostered by a family, his parents would sit in the row right in front of us there, I said, but look at you all grown up, me handsome and well, carrying himself very well and well spoken and so on too. You can still see the future. I said, you still have that same smile. And he said to me, yeah, are you still tall? I said, yeah. He said, and you're beautiful. You're still beautiful, And I have this thing for the most part when people tell me that I'm beautiful, which I do agree. I have a very healthy self-esteem, I like to think. But many times when people say that to me, I know it is that they're perceiving more, very often, they're perceiving more than my physical beauty, even if they do not recognize it, right? And that was definitely one of those cases that he was seeing my spirit. Anyhow, I did the business, I did what I had to do, I made my payment and so on. And then he pushed out the 2 bags for me and put them in the car. So we were speaking and I said, well, do you still live with this couple and so on? He said, no, things went kind of left. I said, so you're on your own now? He said, yes. And he said, the situation is not perfect, but things will get better. I said, of course. And I encourage him. He said, well, you stay focused, you stay positive. I'm very proud of you to see, that you're gainfully employed, you're able to be independent to a certain extent. And once you stay focused, things will get better. And you'll be able to work towards things and improve things for yourself. I told him I was very proud of him. Yeah. Affirmation wants to be encouragement, kindness. It doesn't take much. Yeah. And we left on a very positive note. Have a good day and good seeing you. And so, and I believe that was it. You see that? The church, the salesperson or customer person, whatever they're in the car store, the young father and the young man working at the garden store. 4 things that just so easily, so seamlessly brought me joy to start my day off yesterday. Because there's always joy to be found. There are always moments to be found. It's just for us to have eyes to perceive them. Do you want me to say that in slow motion, as I say sometimes? There is always joy to be found. Always positive moments to be found. It's just for us to have eyes to perceive them. I want to end this video before I pass this roundabout. I love you all. God bless you. Be good, be kind, be joyful. All right? I'll see you again soon. Bye-bye.